Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. If you're watching this video and it's salah time, please pause it and go pray and come back when you're done. Please check out the description section of this video to support the channel. I was sent a very recent podcast featuring pro-Palestinian political scientist Norman Finkelstein, in particular a clip where he's calling out pro-Palestinian media personality Mehdi Hasan. On this channel, I've covered both these individuals previously, and to be honest, I've done so in a positive light due to their good work advocating for Palestine. So it was actually surprising for me to see Professor Finkelstein take aim at Mehdi Hasan, as I thought that since the both of them are on the same page when it comes to advocating for the freedom of Palestine, that they would see each other in a positive light. Let's take a look at the clip.
People like Mehdi Hasan, who gave his take on the election result afterwards, his response was quite revealing. His response was, the economy was doing great, Biden was doing a terrific job, and if people didn't realize that, it's because they're stupid. Well, no, I'm not saying every American voter is an Einstein or a Shakespeare, let alone a Mehdi Hasan. But they have at least a realistic sense of the life that immediately affects them. Paying bills, paying rent, going shopping, buying gas. And by that real life experience, no, this was not a good political investment, another 4 years of Kamala Harris, who made a point of never distancing herself from Joe Biden. When she was directly asked, what makes you different? She didn't have an answer. This snootiness of people like Mehdi Hasan, who with his zetio probably rakes in millions, tens of millions. And then when people feel resentments at their lifestyle, paying the bills, paying the rent, not having enough money beyond paycheck to paycheck, and then to say, well, they only believe that because they're stupid. Of course there's going to be resentment. Now Trump, of course, it's completely fake. The baseball cap and everything, no, that's not in the circumstances in which he grew up. That was the irony. The more the bi-coastal elites looked down on him, the more he gained electorally, because people felt like, oh, they're treating him like they treat us. We don't know what's good for us. You know, the Mehdi Hasan, they're dumb.
With all due respect to Mehdi Hasan, again because he has done great work for the Palestinian cause, Norman Finkelstein has got a point. Mehdi is a liberal leftist that backs the Democratic Party in the US, which was most recently headed by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I'm not suggesting that Mehdi should be a Trump supporter, but anyone with a pro-Palestine stance knows that Joe Biden was the US president that originally signed off on backing Israel's 2-year genocide in Palestine in 2023, and Kamala Harris vowed to continue it while she was running for president against Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, as we know, is just as much of a letdown and sellout as his Democratic counterparts when it comes to Israel and Palestine. So anybody on the pro-Palestinian side should denounce all of these shady Israel first politicians. But Mehdi Hasan wholeheartedly supported Kamala and in turn Biden in regards to the previous US election, whilst the genocide in Gaza was ongoing. I find that so strange. Even at the time of the election, I remember Mehdi Hasan was giving bad press to independent pro-Palestinian candidates because he was choosing to support the Democrat Party instead. So it seems Mehdi put his political affiliation above all else, making him no better than Muslims on the other side of the coin that blindly support Trump. In a recent interview between Mehdi Hasan and his comedian friend Bassem Youssef, Bassem also said to Mehdi that he's too dedicated in his support of left-wing politics in the States, and Norman Finkelstein, as you saw from the clip, is saying the same thing. Finkelstein pointed to leftist elites and media personnel like Mehdi as being too snobby and unrelatable to the general public, who refused to trust the Democrats after the mess they made in America. And for us on the pro-Palestine side, we also felt that the Democrats completely let us down specifically because of their complicity in what happened in Gaza. I don't think this affects Mehdi Hasan's credibility to the extent he's not trustworthy, but it does make me see him in a light where he's more of a typical journalist and media personality rather than an activist putting it all on the line because he believes in a cause out of concern for humanity as a whole. After I did a little bit of digging, I discovered that this is not the first time Norman Finkelstein has taken shots at Mehdi Hasan. Let's take a look.
What Mehdi Hasan did with Matt Taibbi. A professional slander and a personal libel present this voluminous evidence of fraud in Taibbi, or acknowledge that you're a blowhard. That shows you what a sewer rat he is. This was Mehdi Hasan, the rat, the sewer rat. After that exchange, he became the woke avenger. And Mehdi got so carried away with his fame, he got so intoxicated by it, he decided to raise it to another level. And so he says, let's lock up Matt Taibbi, you sewer rat, woke avenger. Matt Taibbi was such a nice guy. He really didn't fight back hard against Mehdi and tell him to his face what a sack of shit, what a sewer rat he is. In Israel lobby in the UK, they started this campaign. The claim was that Corbyn himself was an anti-Semite. And then along came Mehdi Hasan. It culminated in him claiming the Labour Party leader, Jeremy Corbyn himself, was an anti-Semite. It was a conspiracy to stop Jeremy Corbyn. Mehdi joined in. He wrote the article in Haaretz. The line was, when Jews say they're the victims of racism, believe them. Okay, so every time Israel engages in one of its attacks on Gaza, every single attack on Gaza, the polls showed between 90 and 95% of Jews in Israel said the attack was warranted. So Mehdi, I'm asking you, should we trust Benjamin Netanyahu? Mehdi Hasan said, quote, I gave Corbyn the benefit of the doubt in anti-Semitism. This sack of shit opportunist, because what could be more useful to the British as they tried to discredit Corbyn as being an anti-Semite than to get a Muslim on board, because supposedly Jeremy was partial to Muslims. And here comes along a Muslim who says, I have to admit, I'm so reluctant to have to admit it, I have no choice. Jeremy Corbyn, he's an anti-Semite. That was so despicable. And I sent Mehdi an email that just said, et tu, Mehdi, the moment of truth. And he replied, he had no idea what I was talking about. This Oxford graduate who prides himself on his mastery of English.
Okay, so firstly, I have to say I don't completely agree with the strong language Norman Finkelstein used when addressing Mehdi Hasan. Usually, Professor Finkelstein comes across as a level-headed person, so it's quite evident that Mehdi Hasan did hit a nerve with Norman Finkelstein. As a dedicated Muslim, I agree with Finkelstein's point that getting too carried away with woke liberalism is a nonsensical position to take. But to be completely fair to Mehdi Hasan, he did work for mainstream media outlet MSNBC at the time when Dr. Finkelstein was calling him out for pandering to the liberal crowd, which is typical of the majority of the journalists that work for Western media. Mehdi Hasan, to his credit, did part ways with that slimy media outfit around a year ago after they suspended him along with other Muslim journalists for being pro-Palestine. I was actually unaware of Mehdi Hasan being involved in making false allegations of anti-Semitism against British politician Jeremy Corbyn as part of a defamation campaign constructed by the charlatans in the British media. Corbyn is a man I have a lot of respect for, and I personally feel he should be the British Prime Minister due to his completely fair stance when it comes to Palestine and Muslims in general, which is why the media went after him in the first place to stop him becoming the Prime Minister of the UK. It was disappointing to find out Mehdi Hasan contributed to slandering Jeremy Corbyn, and Norman Finkelstein was right to call him out for this. Again, just minus the strong language. Dr. Finkelstein was basically questioning Mehdi Hasan's dedication to the cause over his personal ambitions as a journalist, when he cited the behaviours and attitudes of Israelis as an example that not every member of any given group, no matter how favoured or protected they are, can just be trusted blindly, giving Netanyahu as the prime example of an underhanded, untrustworthy person. The irony is not lost on me that an ethnically Jewish atheist in the form of Finkelstein is telling a cultural Shia Muslim Mehdi Hasan to not sell out the Palestine cause. It just goes to show there are good people from all walks of life and backgrounds. I personally do think Mehdi Hasan's heart is in the right place and feel he has made more of a positive impact than a negative one. And I agree with Norman Finkelstein's stance that morals should always come before politics, but considering that Mehdi does have a multi-million-dollar business to run, he balances that and the correct moral position on Palestine better than most people. In all honesty, I would like to see these two sit down and have a conversation where they debate out their differences and talk about the many things they agree on, as it would be a very beneficial alliance for people on our side. Thank you for watching. Make sure to join my free Telegram group via the link in the description, where we as Muslims can speak freely and without censorship about issues like this. And remember to like, subscribe and become a channel member for access to exclusive content. Until next time, inshallah, Jazakallah khair.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah.